Yeah, I'm on my break here. What's good, people? We almost here for another day. You understand that today, this is the day the Lord has made. Now I'm still going to continue to do my live, even though I got something I'm trying to handle. Anyway, I was talking about the talk is about a lot of the industry women that usually years and years of taking their clothes off and wearing barely little to nothing and being seductive and sexual, that now they want they want to be mothers. They want to now they want to settle down. Now they want to know Jesus. Some of them, I call out some names like Rihanna. She's kind of one of the ones newer to the camp. You know, she's been first she was supposed to be a good girl, then she turned around. The spice of her career, she started being more provocative, and now she's just she's not married, but she's having babies with Rocky ASAP. And so she's not one of the other ones. There's Black China. I mean, years back she said she was going to be a Christian. And I just found out that she was engaged and she's no longer being married. I don't know her situation, but she got some things coming, with roles from movies. And so that's why these things you're saying, why are you talking about industry women? Well, it's because of the seductiveness, that they project, to their audience. I'm not saying, you know, they do what they do because they're worldly people. But you have me that has been trying to serve Christ, and with the targeting, which is the proxy by stalking or gang stalking. It deals with drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and human trafficking. And so, it's just like, you've created all this lustful things and taught girls how to live. How you live in your world and how you should be as a provocative female. You're training them to be lustful. Your music, the way you dress and style. Everybody looking to see what Rihanna got on, how she wearing her hair, and all these other celebrities. Even Sierra one time, was doing some of the provocative things. Now they're all settled down. The times are changing. I'm not saying one person can't. You got Cardi B, talk about of all people, you know being on the strip club, and now she's saying nope. I don't want my daughter to hear my music. They're not wanting that from people. And now here I am trying to consume and save myself, and you know try to stay covered up. And now we got now I'm being looked at like a piece of meat, and I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? They try to put me in this craziness of this system, trying to hide some things, and so I mean, accountability got to be out there. With these celebrities that started out like that. Oh no, you got to fix this. You got to fix this. So I'm hoping that there'll be some accountability with Rihanna and others, because it's not just her. And now they want to just settle down and have their life. When I've been trying to do that, I've been had a husband and try to live my life, and these men, and I'm not blaming all on them. You know what I mean? It's the industry, but men are saying, I want to see some Rihanna. I want to see I want to see these projected images. You know what I mean? That we have to cast them out. Repent and ask the Lord to remove these evil spirits from these men and women. You know what I mean? All these things that projected. Now they look at righteous women. Don't look at me. Even it. So now there's a turning of the table here. Now they want to be righteous. Now, I mean, they want to know Jesus. That's what I didn't read the segment that Rihanna had, but it had something to do with Jesus. You know what I mean? And Hollywood, they have these things that they do. You know what I mean? You know, I'm guessing, a lot of times with these celebrities, it's all about money. Now I'm a mother. Now I got to promote baby clothing. Now I got to, you know what I mean? It just never ends with these people. And, some of them, I'm cool. I can bond with them. And some of them, they just all about the hustle. And I get it. But they have to be balanced because you can't hustle if you don't have fans. But I'm saying there's a lot of women, hey, that look lustful. They got this vibe from Rihanna, from one of her, and I'm not just pointing her out, but I'm just saying she out of all is who I'm really talking about because she's a billionaire, and so when she's a billionaire, I think there's a certain extent do you have things like housing for women who've been taken advantage of. You know, these are ideas that I want to project. When I am on Twitter, I don't just sit there and just talk to celebrities. Some of them, it's not like it used to be. A lot of it I get my news from, and so like I said, when I'm trying to understand that they got to be held accountable. I'm just at least telling them because nobody tells them. Everybody see them and they just, oh, I forget everything. But these are women that was suggesting this is what you got to be, and now they use it because they see the economy crashing. Oh, I gotta hurry up now. I gotta do something for my daughter, my kids. So everybody's reaching for the dollar. Everybody got their liquor out. Liquor, and they got their wines and their hair care products and wigs and makeup. You know what I mean? And I be looking like, I don't ever see some of these people on here. You know what I mean? So I mean, I know people got things to do, but I'm just saying that this is the time and era where we got to get our lives together. And so this is what I'm saying on that we have to learn to understand that now that I'm a mother, I've changed. These things need to be presented to her audience because some people have lost their lives. Some people been taken advantage of. So some of the lyrics aren't great on all songs. You know what I mean? And so this now they don't want their kids to do what they told you to do. Women, these industry women, and you know they're acting like that they basically don't have no money. They just keep, I guess it's the contracts they have. And that's why I say if you're going to be an artist of any kind, you have to be able to write your own lyrics. Because when you don't, you're going to have to always be on the hustle, man. And that's where you see a lot of celebrities and artists don't get their credits and dues because they're not writing their stuff. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. But God can teach you things. And I try to do something in the righteous sense of the gospel. And I don't see a lot of gospel artists doing anything. You know what I mean? And it's just a shame. But I was just watching Black China. Because she said she wanted to be. She no longer does what she does, and she wanted to be with Christ, and that's a good thing. But with everything you have to keep a steady balance. You have to still present yourself to the Lord some way somehow. You know, especially when you're a newcomer. You know, where you're always going to need someone's eventually to lift you up. And so I might have to pause this out because I'm kind of try to get this done before I go. I'm outside, so